Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Grue Rume. And for the Grue Rume today is a very special one. It's a very special episode. We got the cast and crew and coming in for Burial Ground Massacre, the new horror movie. So let's get started. Okay, everyone, welcome to Grue, and thank you so much, everyone, for taking time out of your night and coming on the show. And wow, this is a big cast. This is like the first interview I've done with like more than 2 or 3 people. Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Definitely. So like the first thing I wanted to ask was the person who wrote the script, Eric. How did you wind up coming up with the script for the film?
Well, I'll give you the short answer. Hopefully it's a short answer. I originally wrote a short story, a short film, short script it was called The Ring or The Find, and it had a magical ring, supernatural powers kind of feel to it. And it was part of a series that I was doing that involved 4 other short films. It never got produced, but I bounced the idea off of our fearless producer, David Gear, and we talked about the story, and he really liked it, and he thought it would lend itself very nicely to a feature. And he and I collaborated creatively on expanding the story and expanding the scope. So even though I wrote it, David was, really instrumental in coming up with some great creative ideas, and we worked on it together, and here we are. So it became a feature, and I think it lends itself really nicely to a feature.
Nice. David, can you tell us about the film, like what the film is, the name of the film, and how you came on board for it?
Yeah, it's exactly like Eric said. Eric, kind of in the middle of the night, I remember pretty clearly. It was like midnight. Sometimes Eric will text me that late. Apparently, he doesn't have enough going on in his life. So
That's right.
He texted me at midnight all those years ago and said, "Hey, I've got this cool short. Why don't you check it out?" So I happened to read it right at that moment. I also didn't have anything going on at midnight that night, so I read it, loved it. It was short, but it delivered tremendous visuals. We saw the character of Damian in that short. We saw kind of something that opens up our film now in that short. And visually, it just hit me pretty hard, and I thought it was really unique, and also with the Native American subtext. So Chelsea Vale and myself, my partner Chelsea, called Eric the next day. We had a couple of ideas. I said this would be a phenomenal feature. Then all the business talk happens. Eric's the creative genius. I knew he could run with this, and he wrote the script. And Eric, I might be wrong, but I think you wrote the script in about a week, which is, if anyone's ever written a script, you know how hard that actually is to even fathom. But he did it because we started to move quickly. And then I won't bore you guys with the business details, but that's what I do. I put this thing together with Eric actually too, financially. And the first incarnation was The Find.
Okay.
For a hot second, it was Jungle Room. And then when it got to the distribution phase, which becomes the Hollywood kind of spin on it, with all the moving pieces and all the things that our wonderful cast and crew were able to bring in, it became Burial Ground Massacre. So that's the movie we have for you now.
Awesome. Nice. And can you tell us a little bit about the film, like what the horror film is?
I'll let Eric jump in on this, but it's basically fashioned to have 2 or 3 layers. It was imagined from Eric's short, which was really that eerie kind of macabre, dark layering, to my sort of element, which was that sort of 80s, 90s throwback horror. There's a lot of scream.
Yes.
It's about a bunch of young college kids that go to a party at Blaze's character's house. and then
Nice.
all these things unfold. But there's a lot of layers as to why they're being stalked by this dark kind of character in the quest he's on. So a lot of layers. We hit a lot of things that I think horror movie fans and cinema fans will enjoy.
And I'll just to add on that, it's exactly that. But I think also, I may have told you this before, Rocco, but I'm not, inherently a huge horror fan.
Yeah.
But I really like stories that have really important, powerful characters that are compelling, that have a psychological component in addition to the slash and gore that's part of this too. So I think it checks all the boxes there. There's more nuance than a typical horror movie. I think you can really kind of dig deep on this. So we're really excited about it and can't wait for you to see it.
Oh man, I'm really looking forward to it because I'm a big horror fan. So yeah. And for the cast and crew, how did you all find out about the film, and how did you all get involved with it?
I think I probably would have been first. I remember the meeting with Dave and Chelsea, and they had pitched me the script. They said we have this cool, kind of edgy, young thriller, and we'll have a bunch of our regular, locals and all of our friends, and bring everyone in, and we'll see what we can make with, no budget and no crew, and just kind of like make something on our own. And I said, that's me. Horror, edge. I want that. Give me that creative freedom. Me and David worked together since my inception in the film industry. So me and him work so well together on that dark side that he says, just run free, do you? And I said, great. So then we started bringing in all of our friends and for cast and crew. That's how it all happened.
Oh, we had actually, Chelsea and I had been working a lot with Travis and Brittany in developing another project, which actually we have a very good shot at shooting next year. And we had kind of envisioned them right from the jump. And I remember telling Eric, hey, look, beautiful faces, and Travis has the wrestling pedigree and notoriety, and Brittany's this beautiful girl that's local Connecticut. So Eric, I believe, I could be wrong, but I think we immediately started to fashion characters based on who we were working with at the time.
Nice. So for the cast, and tell everyone like who you play in the horror film, and what do you like best about playing the role. I mean, whoever wants to start
jump
can
in,
start.
sure. Yeah, sure, I can jump in.
Eric, I have loved.
I think Flip is lagging out a little bit. Maybe get a little closer to the phone or something.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's easier.
Perfectly. Beautiful. But my character was Eddie, based off of basically just like a dumb jock character, which I thought I killed.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea's character and my character, Kayla, we all kind of have like this love triangle going on where, his character, Eddie, loves Chelsea's character, but Chelsea's character wants nothing to do with him. I'm all about Eddie. It's just it's kind of like a cool little, its own story within the story itself. So it's not only just a horror film, but you kind of get to see this weird kind of little, love triangle go on at the middle of it, which is pretty interesting. And actually, that's how we started dating. Yeah. So,
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting. It's got a lot of cool side stories in it.
Yeah, we actually had our first kiss on set, and now we're engaged to be married. So kind of crazy.
Oh my god! Wow, nice.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Wow. See, you see, Dave, you made someone get married. You're making two people get married.
God damn it, Dave.
Joey's next. Joey's next.
I feel it. Joey's next for sure.
What also was really interesting is we had the early casting pieces, and that includes Vinny, and you will definitely get Vinny checking in on he's obviously a huge part of this movie. But what was really neat is we did some reshoots, so that we brought in Chris Romero as the casino chief, and that's when we kind of made the decision to get a little bit of that cachet, that horror movie cachet that we felt we would need for the commercial viability of the movie. Amanda Pepin came in with special effects. So there's a lot of layers that built this up. Joey's character came in a little bit later. So, but we got to talk about Vinny because he did an incredible job. We can't give away too much of his character, but he is definitely the evil incarnate in this film, and just everything from his presence to the way he looked on incredible.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, look at me. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, besides wrestling, man, like horror movies is my thing. You know what I mean? I have a passion for that just as much as I do wrestling, I guess you could say. And during the time when I got asked to do this, I had already been kind of developing a character in wrestling that was kind of like, had like a mask and all that jazz to it. So it was kind of cool to kind of bring some of that into the Damon character somewhat. And it was a lot of fun, man, to play that. It was awesome. Just staying in that manner too was awesome. I'm not going to give away a bunch of stuff from the movie that I did, but like all the scenes, especially the additional scenes, man, I think like at first I was kind of like, all right, so this movie's going to be great. But then when I got a call for the additional scenes, man, I just feel like that piled on top of everything that we had already done is really going to like really bring the movie up to another level with those additional scenes, because they're violent, and I had a lot of fun doing those. And Amanda, you killed it on all that makeup. Seriously, was like some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen. But yeah, it was I was so happy to get that role as Damon. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. It was so much fun. And like I said, being able to kind of cross promote what I was doing in wrestling into the movie was just awesome.
Nice.
I just want to pitch in there. I remember watching Vinny play Damon, and I was like blown away. I was like, this guy is definitely played Damon. Like, it was just certain like mannerisms he would do, like even just body language with even his hands. It was like he just was perfect for horror films. I was like, oh my god.
So it's funny she mentions the hands and stuff like that. So growing up as a kid, I was always like a big Jason fan, and like Kane Hodder was always obviously my favorite one because of his mannerisms, and being this character kind of quiet, I kind of like tried to make some of those mannerisms my own. So the idea in the back of my head was always like, you know, Jason was this silent killer, and so is Damon. So how do I improv and take some of those mannerisms, but make them my own? And how, like, what would I do if I was a silent, but in my own version, I guess you could say. And the hands, like even now, as a person, I talk with my hands. So even now, like my character in wrestling, I use my hands a lot because I think it grabs people's attention, having different mannerisms and stuff. So it was kind of like a thing I always kind of like threw in there as Damon. So
also, Vinny, we used Vinny's mask maker in pro wrestling, William Rockwell, who absolutely should be mentioned and credited to design the Damon mask. And it's freaky, it's unique, it's crazy and weird, it's got a native vibe to it. I just love the way that came out, and that was a big part of the whole character that Vinny, adapted and made his own.
It was incredibly.
Yeah, it's actually I had a bunch of masks made from Rockwell for wrestling, but that mask, I don't know, there's something about it that was so much more appealing to any mask that I have worn. Kind of peeking through, it was just, I don't know, it was perfect the way it kind of worked out. There's a lot of badass like pictures I have of me in that, and it just worked awesome. Like whatever that vision, whoever, I'm assuming Dave and whoever put their heads together for that vision of the mask design, but it came out fantastic.
The mask is actually Ryan Sweeney's face with just a little, Amanda put a little mascara, that's where we got it from.
I think the mask is my shirt, actually.
But I remember at the beginning, David talking about that.
I want that to be the
prior
real.
production.
Huh?
It's in black. I remember prior to us starting filming, David talking and really emphasizing how he was so excited about that mask becoming the iconography for this, and having that vision before any of this started, before the mask was even made, knowing that the mask had to be right, and I know there were revisions with it, but finally finding the right image that would really represent the whole, the whole movie. And I think that it was done really spectacularly. I mean, it looks dope on Joey's shirt, but it's also great as a face for the movie. And a testament to what Brittany was saying earlier, Vinny is a hilarious, sweet guy, but the moment he put on that mask, he was this like menacing, towering presence, and he would like stop talking, and just you would be trying to have a conversation with Vinny, but now he's just Damon slowly walking towards you. Like it just was an incredible vibe that was created, and I think it was also kind of like a little family that we had while we were on set. Everyone got so close so fast. I mean, some people are now going to eventually become family because of this. So,
exactly.
It was definitely, it was a real family vibe. And I think that is also a testament to the fact that David was able to was able to bring together this team of really talented people all around New England and bring them together, and people he had worked with in the past, whether that was, in film or in the wrestling industry. It was so cool, especially for, what we were trying to make. Everyone was so passionate about the project, and it was amazing seeing people that are so talented at their craft, like Flip and Vinny, doing their actual fight scenes, because these are people that are experts in doing their own stunts. And for the realism of that, rather than having to make it look fake, like these are really talented, experienced people in wrestling, and the fact that they were able to bring that talent into this, I think really is going to be something special about this film.
Yeah, except Flip really kicked me in the mouth at one point.
Hey man, he was terrifying the crap out of me. It was real.
That's like one of the things that I love.
We got to talk about Blaze too Blaze, by the way, a world-class magician, incredible performance. Played kind of a straight character, which I thought that was tough because there's a lot of personality ranges opposite him, especially with like Chris Wickham's character, who was the comic relief, and Blaze delivered and played this character that was very different than everybody else, and also does a really dynamic magic trick in the film. Blaze, you should talk a little bit about that, because your magic is blowing up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. So outside of acting, I also am a professional magician, and I've done a lot of outside of my own performances. I do a lot of magic consulting and writing for performers in Vegas and on TV. And this was a really special opportunity, I think, in film and acting, because I had done some acting before in different film projects and with David as well. But when he brought me into this, I think that he and Eric really worked together and wanted to highlight the magic, but not just use it as kind of a cliche thing like, oh, your character just happens to do magic tricks. It was also integrating it into the plot in a way that could lead the audience in a certain direction. And I'm not going to say anything else beyond that for that part, but it was definitely a really great experience being able to try and design magic based on a script. And that's such a great feeling when you're given a description of impossible things, and then now having to creatively make that idea a reality because it's written on the page, And so that was a great collaboration, and being able to work with Sweeney on that to make the magic look the best was a great experience. But yeah, like what David was saying, my character is Chase, and he has a very wealthy family, and all of the characters come to party at his house, which is built on this Native American burial ground. And when Brittany was talking about that love triangle, my character was seated very firmly outside of any triangle. Nobody was interested in me, but it was still, it was a really great character. And I think that it was so much fun being able to collaborate with Chris Whitcomb, who's not here right now, but he's such a great comedic actor as well. I mean, a talented actor in general, but the fact that we had this best friend, and we are good friends in real life, but the fact that we had this best friend dynamic, I think was good chemistry, because he was so the opposite of my character. And so there's this great promotional photo that I just saw posted on the Burial Ground Massacre page today. You guys can check out on Instagram.
okay.
And it's Chris and I walking into a room, and I see what's happening in the room, and you can see my face just in like abject horror. And Chris is just like, ah, it's like this perfect dichotomy next to each other. So yeah, he and I had like a great time acting together. It was a blast.
By the way, Blaze is going to run for president one day, as you can probably
Oh, okay.
he's a lot
Stay
more
far
he's a
away
lot
from that.
more intelligent than all of us.
No. Stay far
I
away from
want
that.
to, Rocky.
I just do tricks. I just do tricks.
I want to mention the crew that's represented on this interview, because we met Jim Vitale, who's now partnered with Ryan, and we worked with him so much. He really kind of saved the day on a few of these shoots. We had some really cool lighting design and things that I'd love for them to talk about, Ryan and Jim. And then Amanda, like I said, Amanda came in later, so I'd love for her to talk about special effects, because it took it to that place of sort
I
of.
gotta go though. I gotta go. I'm on set right now.
You're on another movie that I got you on.
Yes, you did.
Oh boy, that's a big one. All right, you're in
Nice to
Hollywood
meet
now. Welcome to Hollywood.
Bye, guys. Have
Well,
fun.
thank you for all your contributions. You made the movie look amazing, especially those scenes, the torture scenes.
That was my pleasure. That was my pleasure. More blood. More blood. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Amanda.
Yeah.
See you, Amanda.
There we go.
I think that like what I liked about this movie was I always loved the slasher movies. Like I always loved Michael and Jason. And I think that like the Native American concept to it really brought extra taste to it, which, you know, really, I guess, is making horror better than it is now. Like, you know, I mean, when you think of horror now, it's like all these ghosts and these paranormal incidents.
Yeah.
And to finally bring the you know, the beauty of slasher films back, you know, and I just gotta say, for Eric Weinstock, absolute beautiful job in writing the script. As for Dave, beautiful job in directing this with Daniel Dahlstrom, I think I said his name correctly, and every single one of the cast did absolutely a beautiful job from what I see in the trailer, and I can't wait to finally see it on the screen.
Awesome.
What was really neat about Joey's character is if you're a fan of the Scream movies, which I was,
Yeah,
there's these like epilogue kind of prologue scenes where you meet a character and then something shocking sort of transpires at the beginning. So that was the idea with Joey's character. He did a phenomenal job. We had some of the horror movie tropes there with I don't want to give away too much, but the classic muscle car and the pretty girl with him, and it's really neat. It's really neat the way we were able to layer the movie.
Nice. And what about like Chris? What did you do with the film? Like who did you play?
So I play Chief Tocho. So just kind of a ruthless Native American Indian. I run a casino. Definitely a bad guy, almost kind of a mafia type of vibe. I came in late to the project, but was
okay.
I had a blast, and David again, just extremely grateful. Eric, great job. I mean, everybody, Ryan, everybody was just, the cast was awesome. I've seen the movie a lot because I ended up having the opportunity to score a majority of the music, not all of it, but quite a bit of it. And,
oh, nice.
And I'll agree with David that kind of that throwback to the 80s, 90s. And that was kind of the vibe I went for, because I felt like Vinny's character reminded me a little bit of like John Carpenter's version of Michael Myers. So even more so, I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan, but I felt that the movie even had a throwback even further to that 70s vibe. And so I sort of went with that in terms of what I was writing musically. So a lot of the eerie piano stuff and the strings and the out of tune piano stuff that I did, I was, trying to cop a John Carpenter vibe. I don't know if I did or not, but at least that's where my head was when I was writing the music. But I really enjoyed this project. I'm a huge horror fan, so any opportunity I get to do something like this. So, and I've worked with Rob Zombie in the past, so it it felt good to be.
I remember you saying that, yeah.
Yeah, to be in a situation like this with this talented cast and crew. I'm grateful. I had a blast. So I'm excited. I'm very excited to see it on Friday.
Awesome. Nice. And what did everyone like best about filming this and being on set and everything?
Probably the sweet bedroom that I got in that mansion. That was pretty sweet. Yeah, that was better than my bedroom. But I love the house, man. The house is cool. That was really fun to like kind of, it was cool to be on that set because you kind of like, you had that time to kind of get to know everybody that you're kind of working with on the movie. You know what I mean? So it kind of made, for me anyway, I think it made it things a little easier. And make I felt like it made, the longer we were with each other and around each other when we weren't filming, it kind of made everybody a little more comfortable and a little bit more free range to kind of get into it a little more, you know what I mean, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it was a good time, just like.
So we were all around each other almost 24/7. We were opposite hours. We were filming from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Oh, wow,
so
that's long hours.
During odd hours where all our other friends were probably sleeping. So we weren't on our phones much. So we were always playing card games. Really just
funny cool. You say that. I was going to touch on that too. I was going to say that Blaze touched on it earlier. We really weren't on our phones that much. Like we would wake up at 6 p.m.
Okay.
And I would like sneak into the guys' room with like a deck of cards. And I'd see who was up. I'm like, you guys want to play some cards? Because we had some time to hang out before we would film.
She really just wanted to come see me.
Sneaky.
I remember Britt, day one of the shoot, Britt was like, Flip is so funny. I was like, okay, this is happening.
Oh my God, funniest thing. So we get there, right? It's the first day. I just got there. And Chelsea's showing me around the house and I'm going to be staying. And like, I think we just got into the kitchen and Travis had gotten there. At the time, he had a beard, glasses, and like a hat on. And he's like, oh, we're going to show everyone around. And like, we start looking through all the rooms and we end up in, I think, the room that Blaze and Travis, you ended up staying in. And she was like, oh, I gotta go. And she like left the room and it was just me and Travis. And it was like, we were just standing there and it was really awkward. And then I was like, okay. And I left. Then like 10 minutes later, Travis comes out, no beard, no glasses, no hat, like nice hair. And I'm like, oh, who's that? And they're like, you just met him 10 minutes ago. They're like, yeah.
That's actually similar to how me and Eric Weinstock met.
David was
when I met Eric in the 70s, he had a hippie vibe.
That's right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh my
It
God.
comes out once in a while still. But I was going to say, for me, when you're asking Rocco about the movie, as a writer, you have these ideas, you see the movie in your head. It's kind of on a loop in your head as you're writing it. And the biggest, for me, the biggest concern is, in my mind, this is exactly how this movie should be. And you just hope that it translates and people kind of get it. And then when it leads to production, it mirrors what you're thinking. But I don't think I've ever worked on a project that was more like what I envisioned than this one. I mean, it started with David, but it filtered to everyone in the whole cast and crew who just totally got it. And you'll see when you watch the movie, the theme never really changes. The tone of the movie is solid from the beginning to the end. And it makes it a much more seamless. That's why the production was so seamless, I thought. And it just, and it really, laid out really well. And I think you'll see that in the film itself.
And what about you, Joe? What did you like best about filming it and being Perry?
I was on set for, and I loved playing the part because I really because it was actually my first time having a speaking role in a feature film, so it was a little bit of a challenge because I'm just. I was I think I was also overthinking a little bit, how am I going to play this character? But I guess that when the cameras were finally was my natural self. turning myself into the character, but turning the myself as well. And everyone was fantastic to work with, especially the guy who plays my brother in the movie, actor Jay Bernardo, who did a beautiful job with his performance. I can't wait to finally see it on the big screen and stuff. It's a huge moment for myself, because it also just brings me back to when we were filming it, and a couple of years later here.
Anyone else that I missed that would they
Well,
like best to go?
This was my first feature that I ever worked, actually, and it actually kind of worked out because something bad happened, but it turned out good, and kind of helped me out with David, and now we've been working together ever since.
Vinny and
David's good at.
Here's what was bad. Vinny and Blaze. Hopefully, the owner of the house doesn't see this interview. Vinny and Blaze put a hole in the wall of the $1 million house that we filmed at, which was Liberty Manor in the film. And Jim, who I had met hours prior. Travis, you didn't know this? You didn't know about this?
Oh, you gotta see the video of it, man. That's the take
I
they
threw
used.
Blaze right through that wall, man.
Yeah, my
His
shoulder
whole
went
body-
straight through this wall.
I don't want to tell a story, but Jim saved the day, and now he's I bet he's worked on a dozen projects with me since. Really talented guy.
Yeah.
Sweeney, tell the story.
Been an
Come on,
epic ride.
I have the BTS footage of this moment, and I feel like we should release it somewhere at some point. Now that we have all the social media pages, we have the footage of
Daniel's
Blaze
face is
thrown
the
through wall.
best.
So,
Daniel's face when the moment happens
Yes.
is just my favorite thing, because he's
whoever was filming the scene, because it was a big oneer. So I had
It was me. I filmed it,
and it was a big move. And basically, we're coming around the corner, and then Blaze. I won't give too much away, but the action is there's a spin and there's a move. So camera-wise, then sound, and everyone's supporting behind you. It was like a group of like 7 people having to run through a weird corner of the house, and then whoever was filming BTS of it
It was
captured
me, right?
the moment. It was Amanda.
No, it was me.
Oh, it was you. All right. So
Yeah.
you caught the action of what happened, and then you pan over to our director's face, and you can see him go. And then you go back over to the shot. But in fairness, that was the take that was used in the cut.
Wow.
And guys, really too, like so
As it
much
should.
of this.
Yeah.
And that's a funny moment, but so much of this is owed to Ryan Sweeney. The look, the feel, the cinematography, the tone, the unique feel, all the different elements. And please talk about that, Ryan, because without you, I mean, if Eric didn't write the script, there's no movie. But if you didn't shoot the hell out of this movie, it isn't what it is today. So you should really take credit for that and talk a little bit about the cinematic side of Barrel Ground Massacre.
I do appreciate that, but it was so perfectly written for me. Like this was always my style, so it was a perfect fit. Obviously, me and David were working together from day one, from me in the industry, so he knew that this was me. So to be able to have the free range, to be able to, they had the faith in me to do what I wanted to do stylistically. That just gives me free range to be able to really kind of go a little ornate or unique and do things that aren't quite normal. You know, I think this is probably my 3rd feature that I had shot.
Okay.
But it was one that I didn't really have a lot of like the oversight and criteria that you kind of have to appease all the EPs and do the certain things the right way, the correct way. I can kind of do something different, interesting, and weird, but it would work and they would roll with it. So it's like, I loved having that creative freedom, and that was given to me through Dave. So that's why we've always worked so well together.
Wow. And Vinny, did you help out with all the stunts for the films and fighting and all that?
I mean, yeah, they were cool enough to kind of give me free range, like myself and Flip, especially when it came down to myself and Flip. They kind of gave, the skeleton of what they wanted and kind of gave us free range to kind of play with it and come up with whatever we thought could be like a natural feel within that situation that we were in. And so it was kind of like everybody's hands all in kind of thing, helping each other out with it, but giving us that, like I said, that free range to kind of come up with basically they told us what they wanted, and we were able to have free range to create what they were picturing. So that was kind of cool to do, because it felt natural the way we were doing it, feeding off of each other with it. So.
Yeah, and that physicality, everything that you had to do, that I had to mirror you with, all of the kills, they were very aggressive and they were very physical. So the bond that me and you made, Vin, knowing where you're going to dance, I'm going to dance, where the camera's going to be. You know, I lived so much on handheld and easy rig that literally I would be trying to mirror as much as he was doing, as you and Trav are rolling over the fences and all this crazy shit. It was nuts. So we found that rhythm between each other.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, because there was definitely like, throughout any of the kill scenes or any of the things where I had to get aggressive, there was definitely like an understanding with me and Sweeney and the camera, just between each other, where like we would just talk to one another, like, did that feel right? Because I wanted him to feel what I was feeling, and it was just, it connected, like it was pretty sweet. Yeah, because we definitely connected in those kind of, you know, situations that we had to kind of film.
And it was almost all of them. Tell me there wasn't a kill in this movie that didn't have a hugely violent component to it. Everyone did. So me and him we were boom, boom.
Yeah, I was you know, it was pretty frightening to have to manhandle some people and not hurt them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, personally, working with Vinny on that we had together, it was my favorite like scene to shoot. Had so much fun. I mean, I didn't get to work with him in that way, but you know, we really kind of roughhoused it, and it
Brittany was 90 degrees in the air at one point. That's all I'll give away for that scene, for that kill, but that was a no joke move.
Wow. What about in the trailer? You see Flip fly over a fence that, by the way, no human being could get
all
over.
Of us jumped over. Vinny jumped over, he jumped, and I jumped with the camera.
Yeah, incredible. These two guys, first of all, I have so much respect for both of them as pro wrestlers, as friends, knowing the risks they take in the ring, but they're taking these risks on cement, near a pool, near a fence, on concrete, on a bowling alley floor. So, I mean, it's really incredible to watch, especially when you learn that it was just them. And I can tell you guys firsthand, no safety elements, because they really wanted to make it real, and it's so awesome that they were able to do that for us. And I'm grateful. And I just stood back and watched and said, all right, let's do it. Let's do it in front of the camera. So
that's wild.
I think that was something overall that was just like when you were asking about something that was really special about this production, I think that the fact that you have a ton of people that are very multi-talented that were in this production, that had expertise in things outside of film, and were able to bring that in, or not even necessarily outside of film, but the fact that, like, you know, that Sweeney had so much creative control and freedom when as DP, and being able to shoot the things the way he envisioned. And the fact that we had people like Flip and Vinny that were able to jump in and really choreograph their own fight scenes and do, you know, beyond what we thought, you know, would be the limits of how cool these fight scenes could be because of how talented they are. You know, I think that was a really cool thing. You know, Chris, the fact that he's also at it, not only acting in this, but also handling music, and was able to impact that. And I felt, you know, really privileged to be able to, you know, be given, make this impossible thing happen. And then being able to collaborate creatively and try and design magic and pull from that background that fit the film. It was really fun being able to just like have all of the actors not feel like we were just reading off of a page, but everybody, I think, had a lot of input, and people were just trying to, you know, make this the best it could possibly be.
Nice. And you know, since this is a big horror film, I have to ask this: what are some of your favorite horror films to watch? Like, everyone.
My favorite one is definitely Rob Zombie's Halloween from 2007, the one with Tyler Mane as Michael Myers.
Yes.
I think what I loved about it too, like concept wise, was how it talked about Michael Myers as a kid, how screwed up he was, killing little animals and killing high school. And you know, Tyler Mane is just like, he's a crazy bastard. Yes. Like, you you know, that dude looks like one tough son of a bitch. But
Joey, these quotes sound like an old timey uncle of yours. Like, goddamn crazy bastard. No, it's good. Joey's a real student of horror, and I can't say enough about Joey having like that sensibility, coming in as an actor, really being a student of horror and really loving the genre, and he brought that into his character. And I think that's fantastic because a lot of young actors don't have that sort of context, which is so important.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Joey. Now I was going to say my favorite probably old school would be the John Carpenter, the first original Halloween, The Exorcist. I mean, those were movies. Amityville Horror scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. But as of late, I guess, whatever the last 10, 15 years, it would have to be House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. Devil's Rejects I've seen 100 times.
Good movie.
That's almost like the perfect horror film. There's something about it, the way it's shot. You feel like you're in that era. He captured the 70s so realistically. The shooting at handheld, the grainy film, the color correction. I think the soundtrack is one of the best for a horror film in terms, not just the score, but the actual music that he used from that era. It felt like the music itself was another character within the film. And so all of the pieces were there. So that movie to me is just genius.
You know, the original Halloween, like, you know, I can't even imagine, like, you know, his, like, back then compared to now, it would have been considered a low budget film, but the money that like back then was like holy shit. I gotta say, it's like, you know, but you know, they like, you know, but I also loved Halloween 4 from the original series because George P. Wilbur was probably the best Michael Myers of that series. Like, but you know, I also loved the newest one that came out. But another favorite horror movie of mine definitely has to be the remake of Friday the 13th, the one with Derek Mears, Arlen Escarpeta, you know, which I honestly think was probably right behind Halloween of 2007, was definitely the greatest remake like ever for class. And like the way that Jason would just like, you know, would like move around with his machete and stuff. And, you know, when the two kids were going on the boat and stuff, and, you know, next thing you know, like that arrow is just like goes right through that dude's head. It's like, you don't see that kind of stuff coming, but the best horror franchise is definitely the Nightmare on Elm Street one, because never like that one, the remake was a little but like the original, you never knew when these guys were falling asleep. And, you know, like Johnny Depp was also sort of an inspiration to my character and stuff, because he was that young, vibrant, charming dude of that time period in that movie, which I honestly wanted to sort of aim at when I was playing my character.
Okay. Anyone else have horror movies they like?
I wouldn't say it was my favorite, but it was generationally kind of the most impactful. Scream, and that had a lot of tonality with this, so it was kind of a cool juxtaposition to think back. Like, it's one of those films you haven't watched in 10 years or however long, and then obviously you watch whatever films you can start putting in your head before you go into a feature. Especially as a DP, you want to sponge other people's stuff. I went back and watched those, and I said, damn, that had so much that gave to me that I forgot that it gave to me. You know, so using those as a little bit of sprinkling those nuances that were throughout that, and this was a cool, you know, juxtaposition to have.
Okay. And David, like, where can fans go and watch the film at? Like, when's the film coming out, and where can they find it at? Like, can they stream it? And
yeah, so it releases worldwide on every major streaming platform this Friday, which is actually midnight on as apropos, that is midnight on Friday, early Friday morning. We have it all on the graphic that we sent you, but on demand, and then all the subsequent VOD and streaming platforms associated with that. And then we are blessed. And guys, I mean, I'm so grateful to all of you, from script to cast to crew, because these films do not normally get theatrical releases, but we were able to do that due to everybody's hard work, the context, the genre, the way it looked and felt, and just the excitement that the distributor, VMI Worldwide, felt for the film. So we have a theatrical release, guys, and that is just does not happen. And so it's in major cities, including New York, Boston, Miami, Los Angeles, and that's going to expand. And I'll, of course, update everybody. But and to cap it all off, and I was able to text a few of you guys earlier, we have a world premiere, which everyone's invited to, all of you and friends and family alike, Saturday night, the 4th of September in Boston. So it can't get better for a film like this. And I'm just grateful for everyone that contributed. And we should all celebrate this weekend, because this is a testament to the journey and everybody's hard work.
Nice.
Again, David, just thank you, and Eric, everybody. I mean, the cast and crew, man, just what a great experience. And I had a blast. I'm excited. I was contemplating honestly about going out to LA on Friday and just to see it. Because I'm from that generation where I love the experience of sitting in a theater and taking it in that sense. So
yeah, exactly.
And Chris, thank you so much for I don't want to say too much about your character, because you come in strong and it's a huge important part of the film, but to have that your level of background in the genre, your level of experience as an actor, but then to come in and collaborate together. And really, I think we had 2 phone calls, because you're so good at what you do, and to take it and put a score behind it that really is a homage to horror soundtracks. And I don't want to give away too much, but you sprinkle in some things that are will harken people back to some of the films that we were talking about tonight. And thank you so much. And we that chapter of the film that includes you is so important, so that the group on here doesn't necessarily have seen or known all those pieces. And that's what's exciting about a mosaic of what this is. This is a mosaic of all our skill and talent and time. And thank you all again so much.
I would also like to add in that I'm extremely grateful for David's help, for Eric writing me in and stuff. It just means the absolute world to me. I never honestly thought that it would all come together like this. And it's like, years ago when we were filming it, we didn't think it would lead up to this, but no matter, but I'm very much grateful for everyone's help in involving me in this. And I don't know how I can ever repay these guys. I don't know if I could ever thank them enough. And just to everybody, I want to congratulate everybody. You all did an absolute beautiful job, and I'm excited for to see it on the screen.
Definitely, I'm really looking forward to seeing it too. I'm a big horror fan, and the film sounds really awesome. Everyone's talking about it and saying how much fun they had on set, and Vinny playing a villain that was brutal, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing that too. So I just want to I don't want to hold everybody up. Vinny's driving, and I know everyone else has stuff to do, and so I just want to thank everybody for taking time out, coming on the show, talking about the film.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
My friend.
It was a blast.
Rocco, I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I love that you love horror films, and you're keeping the word out there and keeping this genre alive and letting people know. So thank you for your time as well.
I want to cap off what I have to say. And please, guys, everybody should go around and sort of give their last thoughts, because this is a special opportunity. Rocco, thank you. I want to thank my partner, Chelsea Vale, who couldn't be on this interview. She did so much, from her performance as Adriana to producing this, to taking the lead on a lot of the things that you guys don't know how hard it is. It's called delivery. And from legal paperwork to contracts to all the stuff she's amazing at and does it with a smile. I want to thank her. I want to thank my partners, who are going to check out this interview at Verdi Productions. They really came in with some heavy steam that helped make this have that extended opportunity. So thank you to Chad Verdi Jr., Paul Luba, and my whole team and partners there at Verdi Productions. I thanked all of you guys a million times. So this is a true collaboration, and I'm so excited that in a couple of days we get to celebrate it together.
Thank you.
Yes, and I really want to thank David as well. Over the years when we talked about this film coming out, I just want to say he really rooted for this movie. You know, he didn't sell it short. He didn't, you know, there was an opportunity to get it out right away. And, you know, they really waited and worked on it, added to it, you know, really made sure it was perfect. And I feel like that's the most important thing is when you have people in cast and crew who all did an amazing job, but really, really, really put their all into this, because you're going to see that in the film. And that's just so important. And we want to thank everybody as well. And it was like a whole family there. We had such a great time.
The whole experience.
Hey, shut up, Flip. Hold on. My phone's gonna die. I don't have a
phone, Vinny.
charger, so I apologize, but I'm glad I was able to make it. While everybody for letting me be a part of this, I enjoyed killing you guys. I hope we get to do it again sometimes. David, thank you so much for letting me play the role as Damian. I had a friggin' blast. Sweeney, thanks for everything, dude. You killed it. Everybody that's here, thank you so much. I just didn't want to lose you guys without saying that. So thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you, Vinny. It was awesome working with you, man.
Yeah, for
Blaze,
sure.
I'm sorry I threw you through the wall, brother. And you look a lot bigger
man,
now. So good thing it's not now.
Blaze was like, anytime.
I appreciate you. No, anytime. I appreciate you not actually killing me. I was a little bit worried for a moment, but I now that I am here.
And you got beautiful hair, and you should be in a shampoo commercial.
Blaze is on the flip workout program now, and apparently it works very well.
Oh, no flip workout program.
Oh,
there you go.
I wish I had those gains. No, I just really appreciate having this opportunity. It was really an honor getting to work and collaborate with all of you guys. This was such a great team, and it really was like an all hands on deck production. I really feel like everyone put their all, and I wish Chelsea was here because, like David was saying, she was really the backbone of this on set and in post production with making this thing happen. Obviously, everyone was working crazy hard, but I know that this was definitely like, you know, the fact that you guys put so much effort in after the fact and were tirelessly really wanting to make this thing actually a reality and kept working on it and believing in us is amazing. I'm so excited to finally see how this came out.
Hey, Blaze, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you have a deck of cards on you?
Always.
Do you think you can show me a magic trick?
Is this this isn't a promo for me. This is a promo for
one magic.
Let's see. I mean,
Yeah, session through.
Sure. If you guys, everybody say what they're gonna say. I'll see if I can.
Travis said you have to book the session through OnlyFans.
Through OnlyFans?
Whoa!
I started OF.
You can't be giving that away for free.
Can't be giving that away, man. You gotta subscribe.
Subscribe.
Hit the notification button.
Here, we'll do something super quick. All right.
Oh my God, it's already magical as that.
We'll do something super fast. All right, here. I've got a Joker. This is like a wild card, right? It can be any card that you imagine. We're gonna give you a taste. If you want to see more magic, you got to watch the film, guys. All right. Yeah. So here, Joey, this wild card can turn into any card in this deck. Which one do you imagine it turning into? Let everybody know.
Ace of Diamonds.
The Ace of Diamonds. So you're imagining an ace, like a diamond in the middle, 2 A's in either corner, right?
That's what my imagination is seeing, yes.
That's what you're seeing in your mind? All right. So here, I want you to see all of these different options throughout the deck.
Yep.
Here. Now, if we want to change a card, so we've got the Ace of Diamonds right here, okay?
Yeah.
Now, Joey wanted the ace of diamonds. And now, Sweeney, what card do you, we can obviously like make this ace appear wherever we want. For example, if I put this ace in the middle of the deck, we can go here, but we can just bring it back to the top like that. Or we could take this, we could control it into the middle like that, you see right here. But now all I have to do is take this 8 of diamonds. We can wave over and bring back the ace like that. But now I want to just do one thing with this this wild card right here. We're going to have it change into anyone. So I've got this this wild card right here. So here, give him a mix. Sweeney, what card would you like?
Give me a one-eyed jack.
A one-eyed jack? Is this jack of clubs, hearts, spades, or diamonds?
Give me a spade.
Jack of spades. Watch this joker. 1, 2, 3. Jack of spades. Just like that.
What?
Wow.
All right. It's a little bit quick. I said it was going to be a quick one. But if you want to see more magic, it's going to be featured in Burial Ground Massacre coming out in a few days.
Beautiful. Made so many messes on set because he would try to show us how to shuffle. Not even magic, shuffling. And I made such a mess. Then he made me pick him up alone.
Well, you know what to blame that on? You can blame the 4 Horsemen for that one.
Oh,
Whoa. That's not a character in this movie.
Sequel, maybe.
Yeah.
yes.
Burial Ground Massacre 3, the 4 Horsemen.
Well, you know, if you could get Ric Flair on board, then.
Oh my gosh.
Well, hey, in closing, guys, I think I'm going to piggyback on what Brittany had said, that one word of family. I think that working the film industry, especially in New England, it's not always the easiest. And a lot of people have to put in some true blood, sweat, and tears to make these kind of projects happen. But to be able to have every single person on a movie, someone that you're a friend with, someone you've built a relationship with, and that you can build from, that's what makes this worth it. And that's what makes it so much deeper and more true of a piece of art than just a job. How many people go on movie sets in LA and they're just doing it because they want that credit or they want to elevate their career? They just like get the job done. We all cared about this in such a unique and different way that's what you're gonna see that resonate in the film, and that's what makes me so happy to be on this project and to be able to work with all of you.
Well, even since we've gotten together many times, multiple of us, from the whole set, from production, and we've gone out to dinner, we've gone out to lunch. So it was
nice.
That since then we've gotten together and caught up many times. So that's one of the other cool things is we're always constantly catching up and talking like, hey, we're excited. It's coming. It's almost here. Yeah. And now it's here. And we're so excited and it's going to be amazing. So.
Well, thank you everybody once again for coming on, and definitely love talking about horror and definitely love pushing your film, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it over the weekend. And thank you all again for taking time out and doing this.
Love you, Rock.
Take care.
Yes.
Everybody stay safe. Stay healthy, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, everybody. See you soon.
Bye.
See you Friday.
Bye.